Hey everyone, welcome to SpiritualiTEA episode 2, and today we're going to talk a little bit about activations. So we're in this ascension process, things are getting activated, and I want to demystify that just a little bit for you to give you an understanding of what that's like. Tonight in my 33 Pillars of Consciousness group on Patreon, we're actually going to be doing an activation, right? That is awakening the consciousness of not just our soul, but our soul group, our monadic consciousness. And just to talk a little bit about activation, and so you have an understanding of what happens, right? So science, simple science, we're energy in motion. We are living, breathing, energetic beings. And when you think about activations, things in us are getting activated all the time. So think about watching a movie with a friend, right? And all of a sudden, energy is getting activated, whether you're feeling agitated, annoyed, sad, angry, heart-centered, heartfelt, melancholy, right? The movie and the resonance of what's happening in that movie is activating, right? Energizing something inside of you. There's a resonance. There's a mirror of energy happening for you. In the same way, a conversation with someone or even art, right, will elicit a feeling, a thought, an emotion, a program, a limitation. Things in us are constantly being activated. When you think of transcendence, right, moving that energy into higher vibration, so it's not an energy that pulls us down, holds us down, keeps us in fear, keeps us in limitation. Transcendence is beyond that thought, beyond that emotion, beyond that program, beyond that limitation. Transcendence is living your own life in your own way from your inner self, beyond the conditional. And what we see happening here in this ascension process, and the earth is ascending and humanity is ascending, whether we are in the awareness of that or not, whether we're in the co-creation energy of that, the ascension is happening. The energy and the consciousness that has kept humanity in such pain and suffering is moving towards transcendence. It is transcending. Okay, and many people on the spiritual path are awakening to their higher potential that's free of this limitation, that is free of thoughts and programs. That's the transcendence that happens in ascension, in awakening. And that, I believe, happens in that pause. So the pause, the great pause, is when you're being activated. So when an old program, an old thought, an old belief, an old paradigm of energy that you hold that's resonant in your being is getting activated, to pause rather than going into the habitual, rather than going into the limitation and the old programs and beliefs and behaviors. In that pause, you're allowing that transcendence. You're allowing a new activation of consciousness to awaken inside of you. You have a choice point. Here I am feeling, and fill in the blank, frustrated, angry, annoyed, afraid, irritated, sad, depressed, whatever the energy is, to just pause in that, to free up the habitual, and to make a choice in that moment. So when you hear activation, really demystified in the way that, I'm in my frustration, I'm in my hurt, anger, disappointment. This is old energy playing itself out. Let me pause in this energy for a moment. And how can I transcend and activate new consciousness that I have, tap into a new resource, so I can move into higher awakening frequencies, higher energies and vibrations that are being offered and gifted to the earth infinitely. And it's really magnified at this time of Great Awakening. So activate a higher wisdom, a higher purpose, a higher understanding where you are free, where you transcend not just the moment, but your life. It's getting catapulted into a new direction. And in that catapulting of consciousness and awakening and transcendence, you get to live a life that is more peaceful, more joyful, more heart-centered, more heart-awakened. And that improves all aspects of your life, from relationships to careers, to your own thinking and creativity, to your own expression. And that's what I'm offering in tonight's activation of your soul consciousness. So you get to see that you are not just alone in your own transcendence and awakening, but you actually have access to many parts of you, many expressions of you, and many other souls within a soul collective that are working with you to assist you and to assist all beings in the Great Awakening. So I hope you'll tune in. I hope you found this helpful. Think of activation just as energy moving, and whether we're moving into a higher resonance or we're moving into the density and cesspool of that density, that's what being activated is. So you get to choose in that point of activation when you're feeling that inside of you. You have a choice point. Which way am I going to move my energy? So blessings to you, much love. I hope you tune in to the 33 Pillars of Consciousness and our activation tonight for activating your soul and monadic group collective consciousness. Many blessings to you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Sending you much love. Mwah.